11 powerful mindsets that will help you achieve success faster. Fortune wisdom. Greetings, everyone. Ordinary people change their results. Outstanding people change the causes. But true masters, they change their mindset. Dr. Carol Dweck, a renowned psychology professor at Stanford University, highlighted in her research on lifelong development that the biggest difference among people isn't talent or hard work. It's how they think. Your mindset defines the ceiling of your life. Let's explore 11 powerful mindsets that, if cultivated, can help you achieve success much sooner than others. 1. Adaptive thinking. A drop of water weighs nearly 50 times more than a mosquito. When that drop falls, the force it carries is comparable to a speeding bus crashing into a human body. Yet, in rainy weather, mosquitoes rarely get hurt. How? A U.S. professor used high-speed cameras to record how mosquitoes escape raindrops. When a drop hits their wings or legs, the mosquito tilts its body to align with the drop's direction, then flips and slides the droplet off its body. Their hydrophobic coating, much like a lotus leaf, repels water. With a slight stretch of their legs and wings, they shake off the drop and continue flying. Even when hit, they allow the water to push them downward, then quickly regain balance and fly away. This is a perfect embodiment of Darwin's theory. It's not the strongest or smartest species that survive, but the ones most responsive to change. Andy Grove, co-founder of Intel, once said, "Change happens 10 times faster than we expect. External shifts will always outpace our predictions. Just look around you. How many once stable jobs have been completely transformed? How many thriving careers are now replaced by AI and virtual reality? In a world of constant motion, the only way to find stability is to master adaptability." 2. Probabilistic thinking. During World War II, the U.S. military assigned Columbia University researchers the task of analyzing damaged aircraft and recommending how to reinforce them. The logic seemed obvious. Strengthen the areas with the most bullet holes. But brilliant mathematician Abraham Wald disagreed. He proposed reinforcing the areas with fewer bullet holes, specifically the engine. Why? From a probability standpoint, every part of the plane is equally likely to be hit. So why were engines rarely damaged on returning aircraft? Because planes hit in the engine didn't make it back. It's like saying more patients get leg injuries than chest wounds. Not because legs are more vulnerable, but because chest wounds are often fatal. Ordinary people only see the planes that return. Masters see the missing bullet holes. That's the difference of probabilistic thinking. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's legendary partner, once compared investment wisdom to fishing. The first rule is to fish where the fish are. The second rule? Never forget the first rule. In life, we face 3 decisions: what to do, what not to do, and what to keep doing. Probabilistic thinking helps us make the right call every time. 3. Leverage thinking. In the 1970s, the British Library needed to move over 13 million books from its old London site to a new location in St. Pancras. The estimated cost? £3.5 million. If you were the manager, what would you do? Hire cheaper labor? Cut transportation costs? Even with all that, it'd still be like pouring a cup of water on a forest fire. But someone with true leverage thinking did something genius. A young staff member approached the manager with a bold proposal. "Give me £150,000 and I'll solve it." The next day, the library announced, "The British Library is now open to the public, free of charge and without limits. Please return all borrowed books to our new address." With just a fraction of the budget, 90% of the books were returned to the new location by the people who borrowed them. That's leverage. In the book The Genius on the Left, The Mad N on the Right, there's a quote. "If your thinking is a wall, then the world is on the other side." There's no such thing as a dead end, only a fixed mindset. When you feel stuck, try shifting your perspective. You might just see the light at the end of the tunnel. 4. Four-dimensional thinking. People with one-dimensional thinking often confine their vision within a specific area of expertise. Meanwhile, those with four-dimensional thinking can see from past to future, across centuries, before making a decision. One-dimensional thinkers chase short-term gains. Four-dimensional thinkers focus on long-term value. Take Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. He willingly invested billions into experimental projects that could fail or take 7 years just to turn a profit. Or Warren Buffett, the legendary chairman of Berkshire Hathaway. He only invests in businesses he's comfortable holding for decades. Masayoshi Son, founder of SoftBank, once asked his employees, "Why do most people never achieve great success?" No one could answer. So he drew a mountain on a piece of paper with a circle at the base and another at the peak. Connecting both was a line labeled ideal. He explained, "An ideal is like a lighthouse. If your goal is clear, you'll be more patient, calm, and persistent. Short-term success won't distract you. Temporary failure won't scare you. So don't overestimate what 1 year of hard work can bring. And never underestimate what a decade of persistence can achieve. Do the right thing. Time will give you the answer." 5. Upstream thinking. A documentary team once interviewed top programmers and asked, "What's the biggest challenge in your field?" You might expect answers like writing better code or mastering more programming languages. But the top developers all gave the same answer: understanding user needs. The former VP of Tencent shared a story from his time at Google. His team was responsible for improving conversion rates from search to ads. At one point, the business team noticed low conversion rates from Chinese users. They suggested changes like increasing font size and changing background colors. But instead of following orders, the tech team asked, "What core problem are we trying to solve?" After more discussion, they realized the real goal was to increase conversions. And upon further research, they found that many Chinese websites had large banner ads at the top. Users naturally scrolled down and skipped the top section. Google ads, however, were placed at the top. So they simply moved the ads to the bottom of the page, and conversion skyrocketed. Top engineers don't just write code. They understand the human need behind the code. That's upstream thinking. McKinsey's book, The Pyramid Principle, also emphasizes this approach. Always question the real issue behind the surface. 6. The lazy ant mindset. At Hokkaido University in Japan, a group of evolutionary biologists conducted an experiment with 3 colonies of ants, 30 ants per colony. They observed how these ants divided up their work. Most ants were industrious, cleaning the nest, carrying food, caring for the young. But a few seemed lazy. They wandered around, observing while others worked. Scientists marked these lazy ants. Then they disrupted the colony by cutting off its food source. The hardworking ants panicked. But the so-called lazy ants took the lead, guiding the colony to find new food sources. It turned out they weren't lazy. They were explorers, spending time mapping the unknown. This became known as the lazy ant effect. They weren't wasting time, they were scouting for the future. Psychologist Jordan Peterson once shared a self-reflection checklist. Do you spend time on easy tasks just to feel productive? Do you procrastinate under the excuse of preparing? Do you stay busy but make no real progress? Do you read a lot but never apply what you learn? If this sounds like you, it's time to change. Don't just keep your head down. Look up. See the road ahead clearly. 7. Contextual thinking. In the mid-19th century, psychologist Kurt Koffka proposed the theory of context. He defined 2 types of environment. 1. The geographical environment, the actual world. 2. The behavioral environment, how we perceive the world. He told this story. One winter night, a man on horseback reached an inn during a fierce snowstorm. He was relieved to find shelter. The innkeeper, surprised, asked where he had come from. The man pointed into the distance. The innkeeper turned pale and said, "You just rode across Lake Constance." The man collapsed on the spot. Why? He thought he'd been crossing a snow-covered field. If he had known it was a frozen lake, he would never have dared to ride over it. The lake was the geographical reality. But in his mind, it was a safe field. And that belief gave him the courage to move forward. Humans are shaped by their environment. So the best way to change yourself is to change your surroundings. Want to improve focus? Create a distraction-free workspace. Want more awareness? Delete low-quality short video apps and read timeless books. Want a better mood? Avoid drama and spend more time in nature. If you're unhappy with your current situation, start by changing your environment. Then change yourself. Start now. 8. The pivot mindset. Not every wall is worth crashing into. Life is full of options, and no rule says you must follow one path to the bitter end. When the road ahead is blocked, pivoting isn't failure. It's the smartest way to take ownership of your future. A netizen once shared a story about her cousin. She was already over 30 years old and had a stable job, but in the eyes of her relatives, she was still considered a spinster. Every time there was a family gathering, she couldn't avoid being questioned by uncles and aunts. Later, her parents asked someone to introduce her to a man. The two had similar interests and quickly developed feelings for each other. Not long after, they began talking about marriage. One day, the cousin accidentally discovered a message on her boyfriend's phone and found out that he had a gambling habit. Nearly all of his monthly salary was spent on this, and his family even helped him hide it. At first, she tried to advise him to quit because gambling is highly addictive. Although he didn't argue, he also didn't care about her advice. Then one day, he suddenly came to borrow money from her to cover living expenses. She was surprised and asked, "You just got paid, so why do you need to borrow money?" He replied, "I lost it all." He even got irritated and blamed her, saying, "We're not even married yet and you're already interfering in my business?" Hearing that, she said nothing more, turned around and went straight home. That night, she took the initiative to propose a breakup. The next day, both sides of the family kept urging her to reconsider, saying the man would change and that she shouldn't give up so easily. But she firmly insisted on breaking up. Later, she met a better man. As for the other guy, due to gambling, he became heavily in debt, even lost his job and had to run from creditors. The key point in this story is, not all persistence leads to results. Some things should not be stubbornly pursued because that's just blind attachment. Life doesn't always go smoothly. And not every wall is worth crashing into. Letting go wisely is better than stubbornly clinging. Only by stopping in time and pulling yourself out of the mud can you find a new life. 9. The filling the hole mindset. If you can't solve the problem, you become the problem. Peng Lei, CEO of Alipay, once said, "No matter what Jack Ma decides, my only task is to make that decision the best one." The greatest success of a person lies in their ability to solve problems, whether at work or in life. The filling the hole mindset is a core competitive ability. Writer Chu Ji once shared a personal experience. When he first joined a company, after just 3 days, the CEO's assistant suddenly informed him that he had to attend a meeting. As soon as he entered the meeting room, before understanding anything, the CEO scolded him directly. "You're the one in charge of the company website, right? The website is awful. You need to overhaul it immediately. I want to see a new version launched in 30 days. Chu Ji was stunned. He had only been working for 3 days and knew nothing about operating the website. But he quickly realized this was a trap set by his predecessors to test him. Many people might have refused to take on the task. But Chu Ji didn't refuse. He simply nodded and continued. For that whole month, he was constantly busy, planning the site sections, finding technicians, coordinating the UI design team. In the end, he managed to launch the new version ahead of schedule. The CEO was very satisfied, and later discovered that Chu Ji actually wasn't the person originally in charge of the website. This made the CEO value him even more, and he suggested that the general director appoint Chu Ji as the head of the product department, while also nominating him as the company's outstanding employee of the year. After just over a month on the job, Chu Ji went from a new hire to a key employee, thanks to his ability to fill holes. Chu Ji said that every time he had to fill a hole, it was an opportunity to train and improve himself, sharpening his willpower and mental strength. This helped him naturally cope with all difficulties and build a solid foundation for future success. Work is always a chain of one hole after another. Your job is to learn to fill them well. Only when the hole is filled can you move forward. The difference between people lies in their ability to fill holes. When faced with challenges, outstanding people find solutions. Average people look for excuses to justify their incompetence and avoid responsibility. How far a person can go depends on how big their hole-filling capacity is. 10. The solid wooden barrel mindset. Don't let your weaknesses ruin your strengths. Truly smart people are those who know both their strengths and their weaknesses. Instead of constantly fighting your weaknesses, learn to maximize your strengths and find your own moments to shine. There was a famous German scientist named Otto W. When he was young, he followed his parents' wishes and studied literature. But he had no interest in it. After one semester, the teacher had to inform his parents that although Otto was hardworking, he was too stubborn. Someone like this, no matter how virtuous, won't succeed in literature. His parents then sent him to study painting. But the art teacher also judged that Otto had no talent. His paintings attracted no attention. Otto encountered many failures by going down the wrong paths. This severely damaged his self-confidence. Until one day, his kind chemistry teacher encouraged him, saying, "You are meticulous and have good hands-on skills. Why not try chemistry?" From that moment, Otto's abilities ignited like a flame. He quickly grew into an exceptional talent in the field of chemistry. In 1910, he won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry for his success in synthesizing artificial fragrance. As an old proverb says, every ruler has its short and long spans. Human intellectual development is uneven. Everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses. Flaws can become roadblocks in life and limit our growth. Smart people know how to capitalize on their strengths while avoiding their weaknesses. Only then can they pave the way for a broader and smoother journey ahead. Lesson number 11, the empty cup mindset. Sometimes to reset your life, you must first empty your mind. There's a story circulating online about a young man who failed in his startup. He blamed the times, the economy, and everyone around him. One day, hearing his parents talk about a wise monk living in a nearby temple, he decided to visit him. At first, a disciple greeted him, but the young man acted arrogant, saying, "How can a mere novice be worthy of receiving someone like me?" Soon, the master himself came out and humbly welcomed him. While pouring tea for the young man, the monk kept pouring even after the cup was full. Surprised, the young man asked, "Master, the cup is already full, why are you still pouring?" The monk smiled and replied, "Exactly. If the cup is full, how can we add anything new?" In that moment, the young man had an epiphany. The monk was reminding him that no matter the time or place, we must always keep our minds open and empty. Only by letting go of past attachments can we rebuild and reshape our future. Actress Ma Yili once shared a moment from working with the legendary actor Chen Daoming. Known for his talent and professionalism, Chen would often stay on set, silently watching the younger actors perform after his own scenes were done. Curious, Ma Yili once asked him, "Teacher Chen, you always stand quietly watching us. Do you have something to teach us?" Chen smiled and said, "Even as a veteran, I always remind myself to keep a learner's attitude, to integrate with the younger generation and never become arrogant." As a national-level actor, Chen Daoming lives by the belief, "Among any three people I walk with, one of them will be my teacher." It's this empty cup mindset that has continuously refined his acting skills. French writer Émile Zola once said, "The entire meaning of life lies in the constant discovery of the unknown and the continuous growth of knowledge." Those who remain stuck in the glories of their past, lost in pride, will never break new ground. Great individuals dare to remake themselves, to let go of who they were, and become an improved version of who they can be. As Chinese philosopher Bai Nian Tu once said, "Your value and social status are directly proportional to how irreplaceable you are." And where does that irreplaceability come from? From an independent personality and a unique way of thinking. Life is a journey of breaking mental limits. Academic degrees are just bronze medals. Skills are silver. Relationships are gold. But mindset, that is the ultimate ace card. Redirecting your mindset helps you stop at the right time and pivot in life. The fulfilling mindset improves your abilities and sets you apart from others. The solid wooden barrel mindset helps you spotlight your strengths while managing weaknesses. And the empty cup mindset allows you to reset, rebuild, and start anew. The rest of your life begins now. May we all cultivate these advanced ways of thinking so we can live more harmoniously with the world. As the saying goes, how far you go in life depends on how you think. If your mind can't reach a new height, your feet never will either. The books you read, the roads you walk, the people you meet, and the experiences you gather, all of them are paving stones to elevate your mindset. So keep sharpening yourself. Keep training your inner world. And one day you will break past your own limits, to see a much bigger world. Thank you for watching today's content. If you found it valuable, don't forget to share it with your friends and loved ones. Follow me for more insights into the secrets of wealth and life. See you next time.